never sees me, sees me. I'm losing every battle. Can somebody save me, save me? I'm losing every battle. Can somebody save me, save me? I'm losing every battle.
All right, we're going to have a brief meeting on the infield. I think, Amara, your microphone should now work. Riders, we're going to talk real quick about our event today, and then we can get this race format started. Second session of the Carnival about ready to start. Rider meeting on the infield, please.
All right, good afternoon. Welcome back, everybody. Woohoo! So, thank you for last night. I think that went fairly well. We're gonna make a few little changes based on what we learned. Right? We always learn. We're learning here, and there's some updates about a few different things because there was some confusion. So, warm-up scratches. We are gonna do warm-up scratches today, just to make it fun. If you win your warm-up scratch, I'm gonna give you $5. There you go. Yep. Sure. Just so you know, they go a little faster. The wheel races, we added laps, a few laps. So D group is 3 laps, C group is 4 laps, B and Madison groups are 5 laps. The wheel race, your holders can push or throw you. So I know some should. They should. And then get out of the way. That was the important thing. I think people threw people and then stood there. And we had some people dodging holders. So if you're going to throw them and then kind of run to the inside and they pass on the outside.
Bring your sneakers.
Yes, if you're going to really throw somebody or get in your socks, yeah, don't try to throw in your cleats, you slip. So that is those. Meter markers are online. I have them here. There's a few changes because a few people scratched, but we'll figure that out. So that's the wheel races. The Kieran finals, those will be posted once the wheel race is done. You're going to be in groups of 4 to 6, most likely 5. The Kierans we're going to try to run differently because we're trying to run them really fast. That's the whole point of the Carnival, is that things go really fast back to back to back. So you are not starting with holders. You are not starting from the rail. You're going to be starting from the warm-up circle behind the e-bike. So we're going to roll out in order, and you're going to see 4 laps. So I'm going to organize all that. Yep, Matt, we can do it, Maddie. Have faith. Have faith. We're going to make it happen. Yeah, but so you're going to be rolling behind the e-bike in your order. One quick thing, so you're not going to get the spiel on the Kierans. If you draw position 1, you are stuck behind the bike for at least 1 lap. You can't like just give it up. Okay. After that 1 lap, you could reshuffle your positions. You could, I mean, most of the time people are going to stay there, but after 1 lap, you can reshuffle your positions. It's a 4-lap race. The bike pulls off on the back straight with 1.5 to go. Then it's a 1.5 lap race. So a lap. You have to be in position by a half lap. You can't shuffle for a whole lap, right?
Well, it depends on if you're going by the race book or by USA Cycling Rules.
I'm going to say a lap. I'm going to make it easy for everybody.
We'll give you a whistle.
Okay, so
Looks good.
got it. As the group rolls by, hopefully you get a whistle. Everyone should be in position. It should be fairly easy. We'll see how it goes. We're trying something new. It'll be fun. Win and outs are raced as 4x3, so bell every 3. The Madison win and out, you have a few extra laps into that first sprint. So the bell will still happen at 10. The person will come out at 9. There's just a few more extra laps leading into it. And then we have points races. The points races, the points you get in your points races add to your total. It's like an international Omnium style. So that points race is going to determine everything in terms of the positioning. Does that make sense?
This one's at 10? Or these? These are evenly
4x3. 4x3. And this one is just there's a longer run in.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, no questions? Are we ready? The beer garden is open. Not that we're going to partake in that until after, but it is open. Yeah. Hi, Zach. Yay. So let's get the D group to the rail. We'll roll you out from the rail for your warm-up scratch. So Corey can talk about the points and the standings, and you can say hi to our 15 fans. Woo!
That's right. Welcome, everybody. This is the beginning of our second session for the Carnival. We do begin with these warm-up scratches, a little bit for me to remember what the heck's going on, and then, of course, for everybody out here to be introduced, all 15 of you out there in the live audience. We'll walk you through who's here today and what their points are as they go around the track on these warm-ups. We are still looking for, is Jacob Luna or Joseph Deck here? I don't think we've seen them yet, but if they're here.
Joseph is here.
Okay. We don't, so Joseph is here, and maybe he's still looking for Jacob Luna.
C group, you're going to be in the warm-up circle. We will roll you out from the warm-up circle. So B in the warm-up circle will stage you in like 2 laps. So C group in the warm-up circle, please.
If David Mullen is here for the B group, we'd also need to check in real quick. If David Mullen's here. Don't know if we've seen Mullen. Looks like not. Okay. I think he's not a no-show this afternoon. All right, on the track right now, we're doing a 5-lap warm-up scratch. We will give $5 to win the race, it sounds like. So we're going to make it a little bit more fun here. And it'll be over real quick. In the meantime, your leaders in the Omnium, number 102, Annette Williams for the Kenmore Velo Center Cycles team. She's wearing the Stars and Stripes. She's got 21 points. Next up for the Jerry Baker Juniors team is Lucy Gilchrist with 14. 3 riders with 10 points apiece. Rue Tomko for Jerry Baker Juniors, Kelly Darlene for the Jerry Baker Juniors team, and Megan Henry for Fount Cycling are all tied in third with 10 points apiece. After that, Patricia Murray's out there, bib 121 with the white kit. She's got 9 points coming into the competition today. Heather Nielsen in the red for Audi Crikey has 7. That's number 111. Kat Kat McGee, 211 in the yellow, has 7 points as well. Leah Holslander, another Jerry Baker Jr.'s rider, in 205 is her number. She's got 6 points. Alicia Stotts for the Fountain Cycling Guild in the dark green. She's wearing bib 204. She starts today with 5 points. Emily Alexander for Liquid Velo is wearing a green and black kit, and she's number 113. She has 4 points to her name. And Lucy Clymer Kennedy, a new competitor around here at the Velodrome. She's starting today with 2 points, and her bib number is 209. So that'll be all the riders in this field. We will see now who wants to go for the early fun little payout on the warm-up scratch. We're going to give the leader on this very first race a $5 quick payout. So giving them a reason to want to sprint on the first race. Why not? No points for the overall competition from this, but that will start the next time they come back out here for the wheel race. All right, coming on the home straight here, that's Emily Alexander at the front. She gets the bell first. She'll make the attack from the front. $5 to win the warm-up scratch, and our D group is away. And now engaging the sprint, as it looks like Emily knows that she can get a quick payout here. Group C is ready to go. Group B, you're going to need to get ready pretty quick as well. So you'll want to grab your equipment and start moving towards the warm-up circle. So we'll get you queued up for this. On the back straight, it's still Emily Alexander, but the chase is coming as we've got 3 riders now engaging in their sprint. Check out Heather Nielsen. That's rider 111. She's got some points, but she wants $5 right now, so she's making her move, trying to get up to the front. Oh, Emily losing the 5. It's going to be a challenge from Fountain Cycling, but not quite enough for Alicia Stotts. It'll be Heather Nielsen to pick up the fun first payout in our warm-up scratch. D group will exit on the back straight. C group, come on out. B group should now be on the warm-up circle area and heading that way so we can get you queued up in just a couple laps. 5 to go for the C group now on the track.
And they are racing their warm-up scratch here. Look at them go.
Yeah, they're cruising. That's 33% of their top speed, I think. They'll get there eventually. They know there's some cash around after a couple laps here. They'll probably pick it up. So, in this group, we've got, this is going to be our largest group competing today. I'm going to do my best to see who's actually here and not announce those who are not present, which will be a little tricky, but I'll do what I can. Sam Frigo's here. He's our current leader in this group. It's 455 for the Gene Johnson cycling team. He's currently second in the lineup. He's got the blue and the light blue and the white font there with the white helmet. He leads the field with 21 points in the Omnium competition. 2 riders sitting in second with 15 points, though one of them is not here to hold on to the title. It looks like that's going to go, no, let me double check. Is Scott here as well? Scott Grinsole. Maybe not. So it looks like second place has kind of been forfeited here. Oh, hey, he had a mechanical. Okay. All right, Mr. G's here. He's hanging on the infield. So he's going to be alone in second place, I think, today with 15 points. David Parsons has 12, sitting in what is equivalent to third place. Let's see, Tyler Arnoldi, has he made his way back out to the track today? Don't know if I see him out there, so no Tyler. He would be next up in the list.
Tyler's there. He's first. He's incognito.
Oh, he's in a new
yeah.
He is incognito. I can tell by the bike position, but not the kit. So the rider in black with the white helmet at the front is Tyler Arnoldi, number 414. He's got 9 points. Stan Douglas for Flow Cycling's got 8. That's rider 420 in the blue, right near the front. He's got the big GoPro sticking up over the helmet. Let's see who else is here to race today. I don't see Ben joining us today. JC Piles up with some points. That's with the rider at the back of the group, currently number 406 for the Jerry Baker Juniors. He's got 8 points as well. Currently overall in 8th place, tied with Stan Douglas. Make that 7th place. Jacob Luna didn't make it out today, so after that, I think the list kind of gets tough for me to follow. But Ken Dong's here. I know he's out there racing Dyna Racer. There's our bell, 1 to go. Gene Wainwright in the mix as well, the rider for Dyna Racing 312. He's up near the front. 457 is Brendan Confer for Fountain Cycling. He's got 5 points coming in today's competition. Not in the top of the leaderboards, but certainly has some points to him. Wilson Turk for the Western Washington team there almost the last rider in the lineup right now. The sprint coming to the front for the first 5 points is Sam Frigo, our current Omnium leader, wants to find some more prestige in the $5 payout. He's on his way to do just that. Madison riders will be next up. B group onto the track now. There's already a gap forming. Oh no. Time to get urgent for those $5. All right, so in this group here, this is our B group. Chris Wilson is the current leader with 19 points on the Omnium. That's going to be rider 39. He's got a white helmet on. Where is he at? Second from the back right now in the dark green. Henry Kays with the laser has got 17. He's in second place, and currently you can see him pretty easily from over here with the orange helmet. One of our Jerry Baker Jr. riders. And right behind him, he's got a teammate, not physically behind him, but in the points. Third place with 16 is Carl Pratis, number 304. And it actually is right behind him. Look at that. I wasn't looking up, but they're teaming up right now in this lineup. So you got Carl Pratis and Henry Kays are right next to each other, second and third place in the competition. Steven Wilson's number 25 has 13. He's the Caliber Home Loans Gerks team, and he is almost middle of that lineup, light blue with the neon-colored socks. David Mullen for Hagens Berman couldn't make it out today, it looks like, but he has 10 points. He'd be next up in the competition. Let's see. Did Siegel make his way out today? I don't see an Alex Siegel anywhere, do I? I do not. Kit Colbert, third rider from the back for the Broadmark team. Scott looks to be 7 points. So he is still he's within reach. He's at 7th place right now, although a couple of riders in front of him not showing up today. So he has a chance to move up into the top 5 pretty quickly. Other than that, I got David Bryan out there, 322. It's Austin Hildreth here, number 320. That's for the, what has he got? 6 points, I believe, rider 320 does. And where's he at? He's currently the last rider on the lineup, so that's where Austin is right now. I see the Darlene's out there. So you got Mike Darlene right in the middle, number 31, and Kelly Darlene, number 101. Both with some points to their name. In fact, they're right next to each other in the leaderboards. Peter Snoblin, number 303 for Airtech Racing in the white and black. Almost in the back of the lineup right now with the orange bike. And I think that'll do for all of our riders that are here today. Coming into the Bell Lap, our field, again, going to be sprinting for $5 for the fun of it. Not a lot of challenge yet as Peter Snoblin will make the first big move to dive into the sprinter's lane and takes the lead spot. He's on his way to try to challenge for the $5. But you know who else really likes $5 are the kids. So the two juniors getting pretty anxious here for their, I got to do my vocal warm-ups. Anxious for their first opportunity to pick up some cash today as Carl Pratis, Henry Kays lead out the sprint. Steven Wilson's also trying to get on the fun, but it looks like it's going to be Pratis for the first dollars for the group. $5 for Carl Pratis on that one. Madison's will come on out as soon as these riders finish. All right, we ended last night watching the team of Brandon Russell and David Richter working together in the team that is number 17 in the dark green. You see them near the front. There are leaders in the Madison Omnium. This is a team Omnium, so 2 riders per team working together to try to do their best. Some races, they're both on the track at the same time. Others, they've been splitting their efforts. So sometimes we do the actual Madison race, which you will get to see one if you're here throughout this race today. Or sometimes we split them up. So yesterday we had them do one endurance event and one sprint. That was a 4-up sprint for the sprinter and a missing out for the endurance rider. Today we're going to be doing Kieran's for the sprinter and a winning out for the endurance rider. Who else we got out here? In second place, they're wearing the pink jerseys with 20 points in the competition, 3 behind the leaders, the pink team of Matty Hers and Nolan Adams. In third with 14 points, Nick Martinez and Andrew Kahlberg are wearing the yellow jerseys. They're they are the last team in that lineup right now. Third in the standings coming into today. With 11 points in fourth place, Andrew Martin and Mike Robson in the light blue have found their way to the front in the current rotation. The Stars and Stripes team is Andy Baker and Kenny Williams. They're wearing number 99 as a team, and they've got 10 points, putting them in 5th place right now in the competition. After that, I think Mike Ritter and Ryan Meinhardt in the dark blue noon jersey are at 9 points, sitting in 6th. Bobby Walthor and Matt Haldeman for the Haldy's Hand-Built Wheels team. Single malt Velo colors. It's the black and pink and blue colors. 3rd in the lineup right now. If you look at our lineup across the track, they are sitting in 5 points in the competition in 7th. Brett Walker and Carl Hofer in the white and black with 4 points, good for 8th place right now. Eric Waterman and Vern Cole are in the dark orange. They are sitting with 3 points in 9th. And Kelly Please and David Branson in the red right at the front, jersey number 1. They have 2 points to their name. So that's how the teams start the Omni Mount today. Rider across the line first will pick up $5. I think it's just a free-for-all. I'll look at Amara for confirmation on that. I don't know where she's at. I don't think it's a team thing. Whoever gets across the line first will pick up the $5, and that's going to come up here quickly as we're getting the bell on this lap. After this, the wheel races start. If you recall from yesterday, you need to know where you are on the track, and we need everybody to be participant as holders. And as a reminder, you can do some throwing too. Bell's ringing at 1 to go. Team Noon on the move as Mike Ritter and Ryan Meinhardt make an early attack, and they're trying to get ahead of the rest of the field. On a fun sprint lap, you might as well. Meinhardt gets a bit of a lead out from his buddy Mike Ritter. This is a chance you get to race like a team, so why not? So Ritter does the effort to try to bring Meinhardt out in front, and Meinhardt's got plenty of room to pick up the first $5. A nice sprint for those two working together. All of our Madison teams, thank you, and we look forward to seeing more from you guys. Thank you all for coming out for 2 days of racing. It's good to have all of the competitors back again. We'll take those riders off on the back straight, and now we get set for the wheel races. This will take just a moment. A wheel race is essentially where we take the riders and put them at a distance based on where they currently are. So I read that Omnium list. That's going to be the same order these riders are going to start on the track. And they're going to be spaced out around the track so that the rider with the best score starts way back here at the start line, and the ones with the lowest scores go way over on the other side of the track so they can get 200 or 300 meters of advantage when the race starts. So they're already closer to the finish line. So it's in that way we call it a handicapped scratch race. The riders that have not had success with the points yet get the benefit of a shorter race. This will start with a pistol, just as a warning for folks, so do be aware of that.
So it looks like our Group D is getting to their positions. I'm going to have Annette at 15, Kelly at 30, Megan at 45, Rue at 60, Pat 75, Heather 90, Kat 105, Leah 120, Alicia 135, Emily 150, Lucy at 170. C group, if you could head to your spots, that'd be great too. Sam at 0, Scott 10, Tyler 30, Stan 40, JC 50, Joseph 70, Jean 80, Brendan 90, Colin 100, Wilson 110, Nathaniel 120, Ken 130, Merrick 140, Jason 160. B group, you two. Chris at 0, Henry at 20, Carl 40, Steven 60, Kit 100, Austin 120, Mike 140, Kelly 160, Peter 180. And then our Madison teams, Russell and Richter 0, Maddie and Nolan 30, Andrew and Nick 60, Martin and Robson 90, Baker and Williams 120, Ritter and Meinhardt 150, Walter Haldeman 180, Walker Hofer 210, Waterman Cole 240, Branson Please 270. Everyone got all of that, right? There's a test, yes.
Run it back.
So you should be headed to your positions. If someone needs a holder, help them out. Once again, this will be started with a pistol. You'll hear Corey say, like, rider's ready. But we are going to, like, if you're holding someone and you're ready, how about you, like, put a hand up? That would help us out a little bit. Madison teams, do you know where you're headed? So once
All-
again, if you're holding, oh, Corey's got it. Go.
Riders are ready here on the sound of the pistol. 3 to go. Whoop. Hold. Got it. Try again. Riders ready on the sound of the pistol. Off we go. 3 short laps. We've increased the distance. If you did watch this last night, we added a little bit more distance on this to give more opportunity for the back to get up to the front, as it got over a little too soon. But this will be a 3-lap race. Now riders will be seeing 2 to go as they come across, as the race has already started. So the front of the field seeing 2 to go. Lucy Clymer-Kennedy, 2:09. Is the best starting position at the beginning of the race, so she has the best advantage. The back of the field in quick pursuit now as our D group is on the way. You can see the back end has mostly grouped up. The front now becoming a group of 3 riders. Alicia Stotts catching up to Lucy Clymer-Kennedy with Emily Alexander, makes a group of 3 at the front while the rest of the field is in chase at 1 to go. Can the 3 stay away? The field's on their way to catch them. Alicia Stotts gets some help there as she gets the bell first. The chase is underway. Can the field get up there? It's a long ways to go. I see 121 is on the move. It's Pat Murray is the rider in red that's trying to bridge this gap, and she's the closest to doing it. Coming from about midfield in this wheel race, she's still on her way. She's got just a little more time. Maybe she can get up there. At least she's got 4th locked in. Oh, not quite able to bridge the gap in time, but Emily Alexander holds on for the win in this one. From mid-back of the group, though, 121 making a nice move forward. Will still be in the points for the wheel race. Picking up some points for her Omnium competition is what's most important here. If you want the victory in the overall weekend, you got to keep performing in each of these races. So good on her for getting up there. C group are coming up onto the track. Holders, do be reminded, give the toss and get out of the way. Rider's going to be coming behind you awfully fast. Corner 3 is looking for a few more helpers. For holders, if we got a few more available athletes to head that way, we need your help. You don't even have to be that athletic to help, by the way. We've had another lap on this one. They're a little more stretched out, but they're going to have 4 laps to compete here. And we're just waiting on a few more holders. It looks like almost everybody's ready to go here. But corner 3, I thought, needed some assistance. Maybe we're set now. Doesn't look like there's any racers over there anyways. Okay. All right, riders, on the sound of the pistol, ready. Off we go. The front of the field, we'll see 3 when they come back around. It's a overall 4-lap race for Sam Frigo and a little bit less for everybody in front of him, as he's got the best starting position. And what a start he's off to. He's trying to go catch the front. And right now, we're seeing on the front coming around the corner, David Parsons leading this out. He'll get the 3 to go mark. And the rest of the field breathing down and trying to catch up onto his pace. Riders from mid-back of the group starting to make their way up as we're closing this thing down a little bit. It's now starting to bunch up to the front. Apex Racing at the front of the field now, but again, the riders behind him are quickly catching on. They'll be seeing 2 to go. I believe that's Nick Clark to make his way up here to the front of the group now at 2 to go. And we found ourselves in mostly a field with some pursuers behind. The rider at the very back has caught Sam Frigo, our current leader in the Omnium, number 455 with the white helmet and the blue. He's sitting on the outside of the group. He's got another rider with blue and white helmet right in front of him. So he's trying to win this thing to stay on top of the Omnium competition today in our second session in the Carnival. Off we go with the bell ringing. It's 1 to go. 1 to go. Colin Stott's getting some encouragement from the infield. Number 408 at the front, a junior competitor leading the lap right now. We'll watch for what likely will be another attack here from Sam Frigo and maybe a few chasing him. He'll make the big move down the back straight. You can see him now coming up into second wheel and now soon will be at the front of the race. All the way from the full 4-lap distance. Sam Frigo finds his way to the front of the field and still comes out ahead. Frigo for the win. However, a nice victory as well in terms of the overall points for Found Cycling, number 457.
There's our B group. I think we have holders for everybody. We're going to need extra holders for the Madison riders. So if you're hanging out, we will need holders for the Madisons here after this race.
The rider I was just mentioning there, they got second in that sprint. Brandon Confer working his way up from about mid-group. So nice work for him to get 5 points on the competition. It's 7-5, 3, 2, and 1 at the front of the field for riders that finish in this wheel race at the front. And those points are added to an overall Omnium where riders are competing not only for today's races, but also the races from yesterday carrying forward into today. I'll continue to update those Omnium points fairly regularly today, so you kind of know where riders are as they're coming out for their next rides. We did that during the warm-up scratches. If you're just now joining us, this is the second session of the Marymoor Carnival. And we're in our very first real race now. The wheel race. All right, looking for our riders to be ready, and we'll check in here and see if we're ready to start. Riders on the sound of the pistol. Off we go. These riders saw 5 to go. A smaller group. And by their registration, they've kind of nominated to be in the fastest of the open groups today. Cat 1, 2, 3 is all eligible to be in the B group. But we're going to give them 5 laps to get together.
C and D riders, go find a Madison buddy. They're going to need holders. So C and D group riders, especially the ones over in corner 3 or on the back straight, they're going to need holders.
The front of the field has a good advantage right now, and they're taking good use of it. Peter Snoblin in the white and black did the first effort. Kelly Darlene and Mike Darlene make up the other 2 riders. Kelly on the front, Mike in the back right now. Kit Colbert trying to bridge up quickly to this front group of 3 to make it what would be 5, as he also brings with him Austin Hildreth, the rider in the blue. The chase from the main group behind them is now 4 riders at the back half have come together. They're currently led by Henry Kaiser. 3 to go. Our group of 5 at the front. Worst off in the Omnium competition, so they really want to stay up here and earn some points. This is their opportunity to do so. The riders that have done the best in the Omnium so far are in chase, and it looks like maybe they're feeling this may not be the right time to put too much effort out, as this is a pretty good gap this front group has set up now. They'll be seeing 2 to go. Can the group in back get anywhere closer, or are they going to sit up and wait for the next race to be their opportunity? 2 to go. So if you're not up in this front group of 5, you do not get any points in the Omnium, and perhaps earning 1 or 2 points just not worth it here for our back group. So they're going to continue to cruise along for this one. That wasn't sass, was it? Coming on to the bell lap now, our lead group coming around the turn. That's Kelly at the front of this field of 5. Kit Colbert in second wheel position. Austin Hildreth third. Peter Snoblin, the 4th rider there, and Mike Darlene, the 5th rider. All these riders really hunting for more points. This is a good opportunity for them in the overall Omnium. Down the back straight, The laser did make a move. He's trying to bridge up there. I'm not sure he's going to get there in time as we now mostly turn our attention to this sprint coming out onto the home straight. Austin Hildreth in the blue making a nice move around the outside, trying to find the big 7. He will make it. Kit Curlbert for 5 points. He gets second place. I believe that was Mike Darlene unofficially for third. Would have gotten 3. Snowblin got 2 points, I believe, the rider in white and black. And Kelly Darlene, the next rider for points, would have gotten a single point there on that sprint.
All right, Madison riders, if you need holders, wave your hand. We need some over at 200 meters. Sam, if you want to head back there. Oh, it looks like maybe Joe's back there. We need some at the Greg sign. If you see someone waving their hands, go help them.
This will be our last wheel race. Our Madison competitors going out for the wheel race following this will be the Kierans.
We're waiting on the heats for the Kierans. D group, after you throw in these Madisons, you're going to come by me near the entrance to the warm-up circle, and we'll figure it out.
So again, you look around the track right now and see the overall Omnium standings right here on the finish line as the riders with the best score right now, and it works its way down as you go around the track. That's the way the handicap wheel race will work here. We're going to get started in just a moment, checking in our riders are ready. Just waiting on one team. We had a moment to reset some hardware here. We're almost set to go. All right, riders ready on the sound of the pistol. Off we go. Now these riders are on teams with each other, but they can still sprint individually for points. They got to go as fast as they each can. Luckily, they start as a team, so they at least have someone to work with. Team Red trying to get as much as they can out of this one, as they're the ones with the biggest hill to climb in terms of points. They see 4 to go as they're coming across the line. 4 laps remaining. The red team still well at the front as David Branson and Kelly Please make up the red team. Everybody else in pursuit behind them. I'll have a little bit of a breather here shortly, and we can talk a little bit more about the Carnival in this format.
D group, hang out here with me. I'm right here, waving my hand. D group, here, we'll figure out our Kieran heats shortly.
Red team doing a good job at maintaining pace as they got a big field capable of catching them right now. They have not made a lot of distance on them just yet. And we can still see the red team coming into turn 3 now with a good 35, 40 meters of lead time on the chasing group. The white and black team also want to take advantage of this. They had a pretty good starting position as they need to get some points in this wheel race with only 2 to go. They start to make their way up towards the front. Our orange team also in the mix as they had good starting place. That's Eric Waterman that's got the best position out of his team. Vern Cole's going to save his efforts for a later race as he swings up. Again, recognizing that this is not just one race to be won, it's many, as it's an endurance race in not just the way that we put together each race, but also this whole event. So you got to play your cards when it's time to go. Red team getting caught on the bell lap. Here comes Team White and Black. Carl Hofer for the white and black team takes the lead spot. Eric Waterman on his wheel. The noon blue team is also there. Stars and Stripes, I think that's Andy Baker that's found his way up to the front. He might be able to find his way now to the front of this field and possibly pick up the big 7 points on this sprint. 2 riders in the white and black team, though, they're going to really try to capitalize here as both Brett Walker and Carl Hofer are here. They should both be able to get points in this sprint. It'll be Andy Baker to pick up the big 7. He'll help out his team. Team Orange fighting. Eric Waterman will find 5. Brett Walker, I think, will get 3 points. Team Noon picks up 2 in that sprint, and I think White and Black gets 1 more for Carl Hofer's efforts. Madison teams, please exit. Even with the extra laps, that's a tough race to get up from the very back all the way to the front. It's such a large gap, and riders know that if they go and put that much effort just to catch, they got to get right back on the bike again and race some more. So some teams choosing to be more conservative and save their efforts for the next opportunity when they're not at such a disadvantage. Good job, buddy. All right, just a moment here as we are confirming all the heats and making sure this is all good to go, both on my end. I need to get the sheets up on my end, and we're just making sure that everything's working and clear because we're basing these Kieran heats on the current standings, so they need to be updated following that wheel race. I have Heat A for the D group as Heather Nielsen, Kat McGee, Leah Holslander, Alicia Stotts, Emily Alexander, and Lucy Clymer-Kennedy. Heat B is Annette Williams, Lucy Gilchrist, Rue Tomko, Kelly Darlene, Megan Henry, and Patricia Murray. The way this will work is that the first heat will be made up of the riders in the lower half of the Omnium. So the earlier you are in the heats, the lower in the Omnium standings you are. If you are up at the top of the leaderboards for the Omnium, you will be in a later heat. All riders will want to be going fast in these heats, though, as it's going to give everybody a chance to get points. There's this interesting thing that's happening in this format that we've come up with where there's a break point. If you're below the halfway point, you're like the fastest in the slower group, and you might be able to pick up some really good points. So you want to put out your efforts in this Kieran. There's going to be a lot of points up for grabs, and most riders will be able to find something for their effort. Once again, Heat A, Heather Nielsen, Kat McGee, Leah Holslander, Alicia Stotts, Emily Alexander, Lucy Clymer-Kennedy. As we said, this is, in a number of ways, this is a very unique weekend in that we're trying a new race format. Included with that is a new way to tabulate points and kind of run an event in its entirety. So we're working out the kinks on some of these things. The whole system needs some practice to be well-oiled and well-rehearsed. So we're working on some of those things. In the meantime, I'll remind you what's going on here. This is the Marymoor Carnival's second session. We started racing last night at 7 o'clock. They'll be concluding at the end of today. Riders registered for a whole weekend of fun here. So the way this works is that riders have been competing since yesterday and carried their points into today. It will conclude with a points race at the end of this session. Riders will start that points race with how many points they've earned so far. This will sound a lot like an international Omnium if you've ever watched competition of that sort. You come into the points race with however many points you've earned before that, and then you still have to sprint during that race to earn even more points. And really what's going to end up happening is it's going to basically feel like the riders that have done well up to that points race will get a nice benefit. They'll get a nice cushion to start with, but they still got to race and they still got to work in that points race to win this thing. So it should be a fun way to wrap things up. That'll be the last race for each of the groups at the end of today's session. Our Kierans will be doing a rollout procedure that's a little different today, and our group's going to be getting queued up on the warm-up circle. I will announce Heat B in a second, again in order. And whistle signaling the start of the race is now 4 to go, and the Kieran is underway. You're going to see this e-bike at the front is the Pacer. If you've ever watched Kieran racing, you know that there's usually a motorcycle at the front. We went a couple years back and decided to go with the e-bike solution. The job of that rider at the front is to set the pace and very gradually bring these riders up to speed. So yes, it looks slow right now, but with each lap it's going to accelerate. And then when the Pacer pulls off, is going to come to the left, down into the warm-up circle. After 2 laps of acceleration, he'll do that. And then leave the rest of the field to race for what will be about a lap and a half of distance. They'll get the bell after the moto pulls off. To confirm Heat B for the D group, I have Annette Williams, Lucy Gilchrist, Rue Tomko, Kelly Darlene, Megan Henry, Patricia Murray, in that order. So another lap of acceleration here. You can see that rider in red is Heather Nielsen. She finds herself just below the break point between the top group and the bottom group in terms of the Omnium's standings, but that could really benefit her as, again, the riders in this race are all eligible to get points 7, 5, 3, 2, and 1 in that order to the leaders on the final lap. So Heather's going to try to take advantage of this, as will the other riders in this group. Kat McGee is the rider right behind her in the red. And then Leah Holslander, one of our junior competitors, right in the middle of the group. Nisha Stotts is number 204 in the dark green. Emily Alexander for Liquid Velo is the black and green. Lucy Clymer Kennedy is the rider in the gray and black, a new member here in our racing community. Lining up and getting ready to go as the Pacer lets him know that he's pulling off. And the bell's ringing, points at the line. Heather Nielsen moves to the back. At 1 to go, trying to let someone else do the lead-out effort. It's Kat McGee still on the lead now. Number 211's found the front, while Heather Nielsen has abandoned it. Down the back straight, McGee still at the front, now just starting to lose out a little bit to Leah Holslander, who's trying to accelerate around her, but the second effort coming from the middle of the group. Here comes both Heather Nielsen and Emily Alexander trying to come up to the front, but Kat McGee's been on the front the entire lap. She's trying to hold off the charge. Can she just win from the front? She probably will. 7 points for McGee. Alicia Stotts, I think, will get 5 points. Heather Nielsen looks to get 3. Clymer Kennedy and Alexander, one of the two of them picks up the 2 points, the other the 1.
Right, C
too
group.
close to call.
I need Nathaniel, Wilson, and Jason.
C group, Heat A. Nathaniel Clark, Wilson Turk, Gene Wainwright, Peter Gilchrist, Jason Fuller. Let's get Heat B over there as well. J.C. Pyle, Colin Stotts, Joseph Deck, Merrick Gallagher, Ken Dong. That'll be our first 2 heats. Again, if you are lower in the standings, you can anticipate you are earlier in the heats. On the track right now is the upper of the 2 heats in the overall Omnium standings. So riders that have been riding a little bit faster over these 2 sessions so far have found more points in the competition. You've got Annette Williams sitting at the front. Ruth Tomko is the second rider in the lineup. 101 is Kelly Darlene. She's the 3rd rider in the group. So again, these are the riders at the top of the Omnium competition coming into this particular race. The next rider that's been doing well this weekend, Megan Henry, the rider in the dark green. She's the 4th rider in the lineup. And then Pat Murray is the last rider in the group. She's wearing number 121. Seeing 2 to go, the Pacer will exit on the back straight as Annette Williams will be at the lead most likely as that's happening. We'll see how this field chooses to ride it. See a little bit of shifting of positions as the back of the field starting to think about moving around a bit. That's Pat Murray there, the rider in the black and red, pushing forward. As the pacer leaves, riders moving around a little bit. Looks like still Annette Williams on the lead wheel. Rue's coming up and out of the sprinters lane. They're looking for a lane to get up in the front as well. At 1 to go, it's going to be Annette Williams still on the pace. Rue trying to find the move. Pat is coming up to challenge as well, the rider in red, trying to come up alongside Annette Williams. Today wearing her Center Cycles kit in the dark blue, the leader in this over Omnium and our strongest racer in the D group. Sprinting from the front, Sheila's going to make this one pretty tough for anybody else to catch on to her wheel. Pat Murray, though, making it all the way to the front. She'll challenge. Here comes Kelly Darlene as well, trying to find some big points in the sprint. Williams for 7, Darlene for 5, Murray for 3, Megan Henry for 2. Rue will still get a point for their efforts in that one. Heat A coming onto the track now. Again, the lineup for Heat B, J.C. Pyle, Colin Stotts, Joseph Deck, Merritt Gallagher, and Ken Dong. We look for Heat C right now. Sam Frigo, Scott Grinsell, Stan Douglas, Brendan Confer, Tyler Arnoldi in that order. So we have 3 heats for this particular group of riders. We're now in our first heat. For Apex Racing, that's Nate Clark at the front, number 456 is in the first position. Wilson Turk, 459, is the second rider. Gene Wainwright for Dyna Racing is number 312. Jason Fuller, number 446, is the last rider in the group. If you're joining yourself, if you have any questions about what's going on, don't... Oh, yes, go ahead.
Sam, we need Sam over here. Sam and Stan. Thank you.
If you're enjoying yourself here or you have any questions, want to know more about the Velodrome, this is not the only thing we do once a year. We race quite a bit, actually, here at the track. Our main event, the Friday night racing program, every Friday at 7 o'clock. Beverage Garden Open with Locust Ciders and Postdoc Brewery. Great racing scheduled every week with our local competitors and athletes. You can find out all the information about the Velodrome, our schedule, and our full calendar online at velodrome.org. Again, the website is velodrome.org. Pretty easy one to remember. On the backside, the pacer has pulled away, and now Wilson Turk finds his lead spot, and we'll try to hold on as the bell's ringing for him. 1 to go for Wilson Turk in the first heat for the C group. Gene Wainwright on his wheel. All riders want to take advantage of this opportunity as there's points for all 4 of them. It just depends on their finishing order, how they're going to be awarded. Wilson Turk down the back straight, still on the lead. Gene Wainwright, I think, is just waiting for his opportunity. He doesn't want to start too soon, and he will engage as he comes into turn 3. So well timed by him as he's going to try to move his way up to the front and find the big 7. It looks like Gene's got the timing. Gene Wainwright for 7. A nice move from Nate Clark to try to catch back on. 456 almost gets there. He'll find 5. Wilson Turk will still hold on for 3 points. Jason Fuller in there for 2. Our next group getting the signal to come onto the track. That's Heat B. Heat C in the order again. Sam Frigo, Scott Grinsell, Stan Douglas, Brendan Confer, Tyler Arnoldi. We'll also be looking for the first heat in the B group. Whistle means racing's underway. 4 to go. B group, Heat A, Kit Colbert, Austin Hildreth, Mike Darlene, Kelly Darlene, Peter Snoblin. Come on over so we can get you set up and lined up. This is Heat B for the C group. A lot of letters coming at you, but the C group, again, these riders were given the opportunity to register for the group they thought they'd be competitive in. So this is kind of the middle of the 3 open groups, our non-Madison competitors. Also the one that had the most riders register for it this weekend. These riders find themselves kind of in the middle of the pack for the Omnium competition right now. So again, want to take advantage knowing that all 5 of them are up for points. Means that their sprint efforts will count for something no matter what. Pyle abandoning the lead spot. He says, come on up. I'm not for this pace right now, so he's going to back off a position here. Colin Stotts works his way to the front, another rider for the Jerry Baker Jr.'s team. Joseph Deck, 341, is the second rider in the group. Right in the blue with the white helmet. On the back straight. The bike will be pulling out of the way. Merrick Gallagher is another one of our Jerry Baker Jr.'s riders right in the middle. He's trying to hold on to the wheel of the rider in front of him as now things are coming up to speed. Colin Stotts just says, I'm going to go from the front. No reason to wait. So he'll keep the pace and accelerate off of the moto. 408 on his move now. Ken Dong for Dyna Racing finds himself at a disadvantage. He's got a bit of a gap to bridge, but he's got good speed. He's going to try to put it to test now. So he'll accelerate nicely and try to catch onto the wheel. He does so, and now he'll move himself right up into the front. He'll find himself alongside of Joseph Deck, though. These two will now be battling for the front of the race. Joseph Deck looking like he may be able to hold on here. It's Deck at the front. Ken Dong still trying to catch. He looks back and says, I think I'll settle for the 5 points. Merrick Gallagher finds 3. Colin Stotts shaking his head. He had a tough race there from the front, but he'll still find 2. The final heat for this group now coming on track. Heat C about ready to enter, which means Heat A for the B group should be set to go. Colbert, Hildreth, Darlene, and Snoblin. The only other heat is Heat B, so all the rest of the riders should make their way from the B group over to the ready area. Chris Wilson, Henry Kaiser, Carl Pratis, Stephen Wilsons for your Kieran. The riders at the top of the C group competition are all in this field. So these are the riders with the best placing in the Omniums, and they're in order. So our leader right now, the rider right behind the pacer, Sam Frigo, in the blue and the white helmet. Behind him, he's got Mr. G, Scott Grinsell of the Dyna Racing team. Stan Douglas for Flow Cycling is the 3rd rider in the group. Brennan Confer for Found Cycling is the 4th rider in this group. And then finally, to round things out for Spark Cycling Project, it's Tyler Arnoldi, our 5 in the lineup. And again, the 5 at the top of the overall Omnium. This has to play into their minds is that not only at the front of the field right now, but they are in the field of their closest competitors. So they need to try to place well here to continue to have a leg up for the rest of this event. One more lap of acceleration for the pacer as our riders go down the back straight. At 2 to go. Everybody's still lined up and being brought up to speed. Jack Springer, our volunteer today to be on the pacer. We appreciate his efforts. It does not drive itself. It's got battery assistance. He's still got to put in a good effort to drive that thing. So appreciate him coming out here and offering us his talents and his athleticism. On the back straight as he leaves, Sam Frigo, our current leader, stays on the lead. 7 points to the line for the leader of the lap as Tyler Arnoldi says, I'll go to the front. He moves in the back of the field and puts in a big dig here. Now he takes the lead spot. Sam Frigo reaccelerates onto his wheel. Stan Douglas forced to match speed as well. This is a good one for a lot of the riders in this field who have a good top speed and have shown it throughout this event. Sam Frigo with lots of power. He'll just move away and muscle himself up to the front of this group. Stan Douglas is trying to find the 5. It's going to be Sam Frigo for 7. Stan Douglas for the 5. Brendan Confer gets 3. Mr. G finds 2 more points. We'll need to take a moment to check in on our rider here. We'll take a moment here as we're going to check in with our good friend here, Scott, who found himself in a bit of a tough situation there after the race. We will be getting going with racing shortly, but in the meantime, we'll just take a moment and pause and make sure everything's okay. And we'll get an update about that here shortly. Thank you.
Hey, check it. Hey, check it. Put the place up. Put the place up. Yeah, we know what we made of. Can't get enough of you, boo. I'm a chaser. Face up. Now I feel a little major. Blink of an eye. Ego, I'm a taker. Shaker. Yeah, she was a ball shaker. She shake me out that door to no place. Damn, why you doing all that? Thought you was my wife, but you stabbed me in the back. Something like a rose when we came out there. We settled facts like Da Vinci. I'm breaking codes, I'm breaking backs. Come on, get your ass up if you're slipping. Get another smile like it was the last Christmas. Hey. Put the place up. Put the place up. Yeah, we know what we made of. Can't get enough of you, boo. I'm a chaser. Face up. Now I feel a little major. Blink of an eye. Ego, I'm a taker. Shaker. Yeah, she was a ball shaker. She shake me out that door to no place. Damn, why you doing all that? Thought you was my wife, but you stabbed me in the back. Something like a rose when we came out there. We settled facts like Da Vinci. I'm breaking codes, I'm breaking backs. Come on, get your ass up if you're slipping. Get another smile like it was the last Christmas. Hey.
Well, thanks to our medical support here. Again, we're checking in with Scott and making sure everything's going to be okay, and we're taking a pause while we ensure that everybody is okay following this incident. In the meantime, we're in a holding pattern as our next heat continues to crawl the way around the warm-up circle. We'll get you ready to go here shortly, but still on hold. Thank you.
Who am I talking to? Is somebody out there? Should I worry about who's in my head? I felt your heavy breath through darkness. The smoke is getting close to my bed. I cannot make a sound. Empty lungs, sleeping but awake, paralyzed.
All right, we're just about ready to get started again. I just got a request to clear the under area here on the railing on corner 1. Thank you. Appreciate it. Almost ready to start here, and I did miss Scott standing up and under his own power, so that's good to see. He kind of worked his way back to his team tent, so it's good to see that. Online results from the wheel race and everything, it seems to be updated on velodrome.org/live. That should be ready to go now. All right, I think we can call it the next group. So we're bringing around our next heat. Heat A for the B group. Coming up on track on deck is Heat B, Chris Wilson, Henry Kaiser, Carl Pratis, Steven Wilsons getting set to go next. After that, we'll be looking for the first heat for the Madisons as well. I'll call those riders shortly to remind them.
There's no need to be worried. I felt your heavy
All right, our race now underway for these riders. So the other group we're looking for, the first group of the Madisons is Andrew Martin, Brett Walker, Eric Waterman, Bobby Walther, and Kelly Please. Those riders can also make their way over to be ready. Thank you. So my only update for those who are out there, you saw what just happened a moment ago again. Scott got up under his own power. He seems like he's getting treated and everything is going to be just fine. But appreciate everybody's patience as we were making sure to check in with him and get plenty of time for us to take care of our own here. So we're back at it. And on the track, we've got our next group. Again, 7 points to lead this field for the Omnium competition. So every rider knows that this is still important. Even if they're in the back half of the competition, they can still earn points against their closest competitors. At 3 to go, it's Kit Colbert, the rider that's in the first spot there behind the pacer. Number 320 is Austin Hildreth, the second rider. Number 31, Mike Darlene, followed by Kelly Darlene, number 101, and then Peter Snoblin, the rider, to round out the group with that orange bike. Two to go. Pacer is exiting, and the four riders now are off on their own. It's Kit Colbert still on the lead of the lap. The rider in white pulls up to the right, though, and is going to invite someone else to take the spot as the bell rings. Austin Hildreth, number 320, on the lead of the lap now as he'll make his move to the front after Kit Colbert gave him that opportunity. So now he will try to take this thing from the front of the field, and he is a very powerful rider. It's not a bad spot for him to be as the bell's ringing. Mike Darlene, though, trying to take advantage of being in the slipstream, has the draft, giving him a nice opportunity to then reposition himself up and over the top, and here he comes, Mike Darlene for the 7. Ooh, the sprint for 5. It's close. Kelly was coming in for it. I don't think she got there in time. 5, I believe, for Austin. 3 points for Kelly Darlene, unofficially. All right, riders. Coming on up next is the upper half of the Omnium for our B group. Chris Wilson, number 39. At the lead of the field right now in the overall competition. Takes that front spot. Henry Kaiser is second. Currently, the rider with the orange helmet. Carl Pratis, his teammate, also for the Jerry Baker Jr.'s team, is third in the group. And the fourth place overall in the Omnium is Steven Wilson's in the blue with those neon socks. Riders can't come in front of the pacer anyway, so they got to stay on the wheel as he accelerates. That's the point of the race. The Kieran taking the effort a little bit from that lead rider, making it a little bit easier for them to get up to pace. Chris Wilson, trying to hold on to his lead right now, is going to have a tough order as he's got some fast finishers behind him. Recent hardware on around the neck of the rider in third place. He placed third in his age group at Nationals competition in a sprint tournament, so we know he's got top speed, and he's been impressive out of the field when he's got the opportunity to get up to speed. So I'll watch for him to be quick today. He's the youngest rider in this field as well. We'll see how he rides this thing. Henry Kaiser on Chris Wilson's wheel. I'll be interested to see if Wilson just wants to stay at the front or if he's going to try to play this a little dodgy and get off the lead. He's going to stay there, not going into a full sprint yet. He's waiting for somebody to come in view. He'll allow another rider to come to the front before he engages it. It's Carl Pratis, the rider I was just mentioning, number 304. Steven Wilson says, I got to go now, so he'll make his move. Steven Wilson's with a good turn of speed. Who wants a sprinter's lane? It's a little bit dodgy there coming out of the turn, but it will be Steven Wilson's at the front for 7. Chris Wilson, I think, might have found 5. Carl Pratis maybe lost it by an inch. Awfully close. Madison group coming on out. Heat A. On deck is Heat B. The rest of the riders, David Richter, Nolan Adams, Andy Baker, Andrew Carlberg, and Mike Ritter will make up the second heat in that order. All right, here we go. We're into the Madisons now. So this is the bottom half of the Omnium competition. Now trying to get their points in the Kieran. It's Andrew Martin in the light blue kit in the first spot. Brett Walker in the white and black right behind him. For the orange team, that's Eric Waterman. The Dixie Flyer is orange color. Bobby Welther for the Holly's Hand-Built Wheels team is the fourth rider in the group. Pardon me. And the 5th in the group, I have it on the schedule as Kelly Please, but it looks like they put David Branson out there. So they swapped the endurance and sprinter rider on me. But we got it all figured out. Team Red's got a rider out there either way. They have teammates in this Madison event that are counting on these riders to do well for their team. The teammate that's not out here will be racing later in the win and out. Down the back straight, we'll be saying goodbye to Jack and the pacing efforts as he turns left. And now Andrew Martin waits for something to happen as he pulls up right and allows anyone else to come up to the front. And that person's going to be Eric Waterman for the Dixie Flyer Orange team. As Vern Cole looks on in anticipation as his teammate gets the bell and he's at the lead. With the bell ringing, the sprint far from engaged here. Still waiting for the speed to come from the group. As we go down in the back straight, it's still Waterman playing the guard dog at the front. Bobby Walthar, though, is going to take the first bite out of this one as he makes the big jump up. He'll now take the lead spot by about a half a bike as he's going to make it tough on Brett Walker to try to jump back up on this one. Bobby at the front, still holding on. Brett Walker coming in hot. It's Bobby, Brett, and then Andrew Martin. We'll go 1, 2, 3. That's going to be 7 points for the Haldy's Hand-Built Wheels team. Single malt velo colors. And our final group for the Kieran coming onto the track now. This is the upper half of the competition for the Madisons. Your leaders in the Omnium, the green team. Currently at the top of the competition. That's Brando, the Mando, Brandon Russells in the dark green at the front of this group. The pink's got Nolan Adams out there. That's our second place in the Omnium. Andy Baker for the Stars and Stripes squad is right in the middle. They're third in the Omnium competition. Andrew Carlberg will be competing for the yellow team. And finally, I believe that that's going to be Carl Hofer in the blue. Make that Meinhardt. I know what I'm talking about. Riders are on their way. 3 to go. If I had to pick a rider right now, I'd be picking the rider in yellow for his quick finishing ability. A very capable top speed rider at the velodrome.
D group is next, right? So D group, you should be in the warm-up circle. D group.
Do not count out the right at the front as Brando has lots of speed, and as we've seen from him and his teammate, they've been very dominant in this Madison competition so far. So depending on how they ride this thing, and then I wouldn't take it from any of these riders as they've all shown that they've got lots of speed behind them, but we'll see how this one plays out. Brando's going to be the rider to take the lead. Obviously, as the pacer pulls off on this lap, he will be the leader on the lap. Getting as low an arrow as he can. He continues to stay at the front. He does not abandon it, although he does not push the pedals any harder than he needs to. He's keeping the speed consistent still waiting. As you see him looking over his right shoulder, he's trying to gauge if the sprint is coming. 1 to go for this final heat in the Kieran. He'll make the move from the front as he gets up and out of the saddle. Nolan Adams was waiting for that. He'll try to match as well, as all the riders now are going to get up to speed. This looks really good for Carlberg if he can get up to the wheel of Baker, who's also going to be accelerating nicely here. Watch for the rider in yellow to accelerate around the outside now and try to make this 4 riders across the track. Carlberg's got the long way to go. He's got to get way up to Brando, who's still on the move. Can he catch him in time? Brando from the front. Whoa, it's enough. Number 17 for the dark green team takes 7. Carlberg for 5. Baker for 3. We are into the win and outs. It goes in the same order, crew, so let's be ready to go. It's D group, C group, B group, and then the Madisons. Onto the track now. The D group for the win and out. On deck, C group riders for your win and out race. In the previous race, we do have a relegation to rider wearing number 15, Nolan Adams, for moving up track when another rider was present there and impacting the sprint. And then again, coming in from our officials there on the previous heat, that's to rider 15, Adams. On the track now, this is going to be a win and out race. So the win and out is a race in which the riders at the front will be on certain laps we're going to hear a bell, by the way, before those laps. And then on the next lap, the rider that comes across the line at the front wins on that lap, and they get to exit early. The first bell is for first place. So first place is actually not much of an endurance race. It goes by pretty fast. In 3 short laps, we'll find the winner of our race for the D group. The way this is run is a 4x3 format, so there'll be 4 bells separated by 3 laps each for a total of 12 laps. So again, the first bell is for first place. There'll be a bell again at 7 to go. At 6 to go, we'll find who's in second. They'll exit the race. There'll be another bell at 4 to go. Whoever's on the lead at 3 to go will exit the race in 3rd place. And then finally, there's a bell at 1 to go. And at the final lap, everybody else gets placed from 4th, 5th, and on their way down. Remember that for the Omnium competition, you have to be in the top 5 spots to earn points towards the Carnival Omnium. So you still want to try to go for these top places in this race if you're trying to build that resume up for the Carnival competition overall. Got to be in the top 5. Bell next lap for first place for the D group. Emily Alexander, the rider at the front. As we're out here, it'd be good to see where we are in the overall Omnium before this thing is engaged. I may not get there in time, but I believe our leader still remains Annette Williams. 28 points. Lucy Gilchrist with 14. Kelly Darlene with 15. Alicia Stotts with 15. That's the top of our field right now. At 10 to go, Annette Williams, the current leader, right at the front, number 102. If she engages from the front on this sprint on the back straight, she will be very hard to beat. She's going to give somebody else the chance to come up to the front as Kelly Darlene is trying to sneak her way up there in the sprinter's lane. Everybody's watching her now as she'll make the move from the front. Annette Williams will just match and then pass on the right. Annette Williams looking very strong in this weekend and all of the weeks leading up to this as well. Has had a very good summer here at the track. She continues to show good form and good strength as she comes out of this turn at the front of the field. She's a couple bike legs out in front of Kelly Darlene and should be called our winner. 102 makes her exit as 101 now is out the front. Just a hair here. She's got a nice little opening. She'll take the advantage she has and try to keep things moving with the help of maybe some new riders that are up there with her. It'll make a group of what will be 3 and soon to be 5. The chase is on behind her, trying to hold on to the speed of what would be now the front 5 and where the race is really happening. We got 2 riders from Fountain Cycling making their way up here. The riders in green, Alicia Stotts and Megan Henry. We also have, looks to be Heather Nielsen in the red. She's right in the middle now. And Pat Murray, the rider in red and black for the SDBC team, right at 1-2-1. McGee making a nice move up, trying to bridge this gap between the back and the front group. The rider in yellow, almost there. Probably won't catch before the bell's ringing, and certainly will have a hard time getting up to the sprint for second. But here comes the sprint now for second place as the bell's ringing. Second place next lap for the D group. Pat Murray on the front of this thing at 7 to go. 2 riders in the green lined up behind her. Megan Henry, who's been working her way up on the Omnium competition, number 218, wants to find this thing. Her nearest competition is right with her. Kelly Darlene with 15 points is in a tie with Alicia Stotts for second place, and both of those riders are in that front group. It's Kelly Darlene now trying to accelerate and get back up to the front. Pat Murray is still driving the pace from the front. Number 121 still holding on here. There's only points for the first rider across the line. It's going to be a sprint to the finish between Murray and Darlene. Murray and Darlene, they're really going for it. Oh! 121 is called the winner on the sprint, and it was close. Woo! Pat Murray will find the exit and is in second place on that race. She'll pick up the 5. Nothing for Kelly Darlene yet. That was a great sprint. Nonetheless, that's going to put her in a tough spot as she's going to be now competing against Alicia Stotts, who's fresh and did not go as hard on that sprint as in this group here. It'll be a tough hill to climb. All the riders ready to take a quick breather before the next sprint is engaged. 5 to go. Bell next lap for third place. I saw some kids earlier hanging their feet over the rails. I know we have rules around here, but I promise this is a fun place for kids. There's a junior try the track class if kids want to come out here and actually feel what it's like to get on a bike. Got to be big enough to ride a real bike, although we have ones that are junior size that we own here. If you sign up for the class, you get it for free during the hour that you're here. So a free class registration online at velodrome.org will get you the bike, and you can have an hour on the track with the help from our staff. It's a great way to see if the kids really do like riding on a bike like this in one of our facilities. Bell's ringing, 4 to go. Next lap for third. From the front again, she might have gotten beat last time, but she's going to try and make the sprint from the front as Kelly Darlene still has some power left in her. An endurance specialist with also the ability to sprint. Here she comes. She'll make another big move from the front, and it looks like it'll be clearing away for Kelly Darlene this time. 101 called for third. Now we're in our final efforts here for the group. 4th and 5th place will be on the line at the end of the race, and those are still worth points in the Omnium. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd have all made their exit. Winning this race, Annette Williams finding yet another 7 points in her impressive weekend. Pat Murray picking up the 5 points, and it was Kelly Darlene just recently exiting after picking up 3 for the Omnium. The bell's now ringing. This will be the final lap in the win and out. C group, be ready to go. Megan Henry, number 218, is the rider on the attack now, trying to go collect 4th place in the 2 points in the Omnium. Down the back straight, though, she will not be left alone as she's found the lead spot, but she has her teammate, Alicia Stotts, and another competitor, Heather Nielsen, in pursuit and on their way. Nielsen, in particular, looks like she's up and ready to go. She'll make the jump up, and now she accelerates to the front spot. The rider in red takes the lead and should be able to hold on to it at this pace. She'll find the 2 points out of this sprint. Alicia Stotts moves up number 204 for a single point. Couple more riders still finishing on the track here, so we'll hold off until we're all clear, and then we'll call the next group up. Race is still going on. All right, track's open for our next crew to come up to the rail. C group, please, for the win and out. Same rules apply as the previous race. The win and out, a 4x3 format. We'll take the winner off on certain laps. Again, this will be 4 sprints every 3 laps to determine those winners. The first bell is for first place. We'll take a look at the Omnium standings shortly as our riders come into the beginning of this race. Currently in the neutral, they'll start out at turn 4 if they're all together. You hear a whistle from one of our officials saying that racing is underway. Sound of the whistle, racing's underway. Yeah, we'll get this thing started right away. As it looks like Brendan Confer is going to get right on top of the pedals as fast as he can. Sam Frigo will try to join in. If we look at the Omnium standings, I see Sam sitting comfortably on top of it. The rider currently in second position on the track with the white helmet and the blue kit has 35 points. The next closest rider in the group is Stan Douglas with 15. Brendan Confer, the rider off the front, is currently in third for the riders that are in contention with 13 points. And just like that, looks like it's just going to be Sam out here at 10 to go. And our current leader in the Omnium finds himself just uncontested all of a sudden. So now it's his race to take the win. So Sam Frigo for another 7 points will make his exit. All right, a couple more laps for the next bell to second place for the C group. Eight to go, and Tyler Arnoldi in the black has got the lead spot, trying to drive the pace and get set up for what will be the second place sprint coming up next. He's also got Joseph Deck with him, the rider in blue with the white helmet, who has 13 points in the standings, also up there currently in a tie for third place. So he's trying to make his way up to the front, trying to stay competitive. The rider in blue looks behind him and says, who's there? Stan Douglas, another rider with lots of points, hoping to get second place on this next lap. Second place on this lap. It's Joe Deck now on the front with Stanley Douglas on his wheel. Stan's got a great spot now. Can he make the move that he needs to make? Stan coming up around to the right side. It's going to be two riders side by side now. Stan coming in. Ooh, it's going to be really closely matched here. Is Deck still on the lead? Barely. He's got the shorter lane, but Stan has been increasing speed. Oh, you'll find it. 420 given the call for second place and 5 more points. Joe Deck, though, is in a great spot now. If he just holds on to his pace, he might be able to just find third. You can hear two riders behind him in the chase. Merrick Gallagher and Nate Clark were kind of communicating there. Let's go get him. If they don't get there soon, though, the bell will ring and there will be no chance that they'll make it in time. Deck's still on the front. He will get the bell, so might as well ride his early efforts. It will put him in the perfect spot for this third place sprint. Everybody else well behind in the pursuit right now, so it looks like it's going to be his race to grab his opportunity to find 3 points in the Omnium. The chase just now coming in between corners 1 and 2. 3 riders in pursuit, but well off of his pace. .341 is given the call as he'll make his way off, and he'll be happy to find the third place. Despite losing the sprint to Stan, he still gets some good points on it. 3 to go. The front of the race is now number 408. Colin Stotts is at the lead of the race. The riders that were in pursuit now find themselves at the front of the thing, with Tyler Arnoldi now jumping in to make it a group of 4. Two to go. 2 to go. Still points available in the Omnium. Those 4 riders are going to be competing for 4th and 5th place, most importantly, because the 4th place rider gets 2 points, and the 5th place rider will get 1. In that group, I think Tyler Arnoldi, the rider in the black with the white helmet, may be the furthest up on our list here. He's currently 9th overall with 10 points. Although based on some no-shows, he's further up the list than that. 1 to go. Final lap. It's 1 to go. Colin Stotts on the front. Tyler Arnoldi alongside of him. We got Gallagher and Clark behind him. It's still Colin Stotts on the lead. Stotts from the front. Gallagher's trying to make a run at it. Colin's still making a big, strong effort. Can he hold on to it from the sprinter's lane? Colin. Oh, Tyler Arnoldi, I think, might have got it. That's a good sprint there, too. My eyes give it to Tyler, but it was a close one. All right, we'll get a few more finishers here, and then we'll bring out our next group. 2 more win-outs to go. We got the B group now coming onto the rail, as I think that's our last finishers. B group to the rail. On deck, the Madison riders that are going to be out for their win-out. Those riders should be getting ready to go. The endurance riders. As we come into the neutral for this one, let's go and take a look at our Omnium for the B group. Chris Wilson maintains his lead, number 39, the dark green with white helmet for Found Cycling. He's got 24 points, but hot on his heels, two riders both with 20 points, Stephen Wilson's and Henry Kaiser. Stephen Wilson's is number 25 in the light blue, the neon colored socks, and Henry Kaiser, of course, the laser with the orange helmet. Sitting both with 20 points and a tie for second. Carl Pratis in fourth with 18 is in a tie with Austin Hildreth with also 18 points. After that, it's Mike Darlene with 15, Kit Krobert with 13. It goes down from there. 12 to go, and Bell at 10 for first place. So you can see the current Omnium leader nearly at the end of the lineup there, number 39 with the green jersey. And here we go with the bell ringing. It's 10 to go. And next lap will be our winner, Carl Pratis, the speedy youngster at the front. Stephen Wilson's the winner of the Kieran, though. He's going to make the big move now over the right side. He's feeling speedy, too. The laser is just a little bit back, but he's keeping on pace. Our leader in the Omnium's trying to hold on as Chris Wilson's now also trying to slide at the right-hand side. It's Carl Pratis says, I know how to win this thing from the front. Look out. Oh, the big move from the youngster. The 15, 16-year-old third place in the sprint tournament and nationals. This is why he can turn 18-year-old. I'm sorry. 3:04, Carl Pratis with the impressive 400-meter effort. Chris Wilson has no reason to slow down now, so he'll continue to move things forward. Stephen Wilson's will join in with that. Both Kaiser and Hildreth decide this is also where they need to be, so they'll match the tempo, creating two groups now. The ins and the outs at this point. You cannot win a win and out from the back, so four riders at the front will be competing for second place unless these guys can get up there. Kit Krobert is accelerating nicely to try to bring this crew back up, and look at this. The front group only cares about each other because that's where they know the competition is. Stephen Wilson's knows what to do. You guys want to think? I'm going to ride. See you later. Stephen Wilson's now on his effort again, getting ready for the bell. Kaiser saw him and gave him a little bit of room before trying to accelerate and catch. He was hoping someone else might go try to get him. It's now Kaiser in pursuit. Chris Wilson, our Omnium leader, on his wheel. Steve Wilson's still on the front, trying to hold on for this one. Chris Wilson's trying to get him. Chris is looking down at the pedals going, come on, feet, work harder. Let's go. It may not be enough as Stephen Wilson's looks like he's got lots more to give here and plenty of power to finish this sprint out. Wilson's number 25 for second. He'll find 5 more points in this close Omnium race. Our current leader in the Omnium, Chris Wilson, as he came into this race, might be sweating some bullets here. This is going to be very close coming into the final points race for sure. Give an opportunity again for the chasing group to get back up here, so our field will catch the leaders. Chris Wilson's just watching Kaiser and vice versa. Since they know that they're close in the overall standings. They're not as threatened by some of the riders in this group, but that allows them to come back in and now make things a little bit more challenging for our Omnium leaders. Our group of 6 now riding together under the Stanley sign in turn 3. Everybody all together. Snoblin at the front will be getting the bell for third place now. Who will get third in the race? Snoblin leads. Austin, number 320, and second in the lineup. There's our Omnium leader coming into the race is in third spot right now. And again, he must be feeling a little bit of pressure as he knows that this is going to be awfully close coming out of this race now with the way this has gone. Kaiser, though, makes the move. He had the opening, and he moved into position well before Wilson could get there. This also means Mike Darlene, who found himself back up in the catch, might be able to challenge. It's Kaiser and Darlene. Kaiser and Darlene. Darlene! 31. Nice run at it. And it'll still be both Kaiser and Wilson still in the race. Kit Curlbert is also, he's near the top in the points. He's worked his way up today. The rider in the white and blue. He sits up along the rail to recover after that most recent sprint. Kit Colbert, the rider at the lead of the group. Chris Wilson on his wheel. Kaiser and Hildreth behind him. Peter Snoblin in the white and black, rounding out our group of 5 remaining in the win and out. Good time for the Madison riders to be ready if you're not already on that warm-up circle. Time to stage up. 1 to go. Snoblin on the wheels. He's moving things along now. Down the back straight, it looks like it's Chris Wilson who's got the biggest effort remaining. He's going to try to go get at least 1 point out of this thing. This will be 2 points, actually, for Chris Wilson as he comes to the front. 1 point for either Snoblin or Colbert. Chris Wilson for 2, and Kit Colbert will get a single point out of his effort. Madison riders, please over to that staging area. Thank you. All right, we've got one more winning out. This one's going to have a little bit longer lead in before the bell rings. It still will ring at 10 to go, Madison riders, just so you're aware. But other than that, it's a standard format. Few extra laps at the top. Riders get the go-ahead for the neutral. Out of turn 4, we'll get them started as long as they're all together, and then we start this win and out. We've got 3 extra laps on the lead of the race before the bell's ringing. So it's a 15-lap event. The first bell at 10 to go, and then it'll be another bell every 3 laps after that. Still the first team to the front is our winners, and again, this is a team event, even though only 1 rider from the team's out there. In the lead of the competition is still the dark green team. In this particular ride will be Richter for the squad, I believe. He's the rider in the dark green near the back right now. So that's our leader overall. Matty Hers is out there for the pink squad. They're in second with 21, and right behind them is the Stars and Stripes. Kenny Williams is out there at number 99 with 20 points for their team. Dick Martinez in the yellow in 4th has 19 points for their team. Mike Robson is riding for the light blue 10-speed hero team with 14 points. Dark blue, Mike Ritter should be out there for the noon squad. 13 points to their name. They're in a tie with the COG team, the black and white team, which I believe has Brett Walker out there on this race. Matt Haldeman's competing for the Haldy's Handbit Wheels team. He's got 12 points on their squad. Vern Cole for the Dixie Flyer orange team. They have 10, and then I think we're going to see Kelly Please for the red team. Bib number 1 has 3 for their squad. Is indeed Carl Hofer out there for the white and black team as Brett Walker's on the infield. hanging out, so you know. I'll use all my senses. I eventually figure it out. On the track, though, it looks like the move's coming from Team Yellow's. Nick Martinez wants to take advantage of these lead laps to make it hard for the field and just put on some endurance effort early. No, you do not have to wait for the bell to put in an effort, especially when you got these early lead laps here. This gives you an opportunity to make it fast and hard for the other teams, and that's exactly what he's out here trying to do. Matty Hers for the pink team, the first to make the bridge up at 12 to go. 2 more laps before there's a bell. That's Richter, the Rocket, and the dark green also bridging up and finding his pace. Following the wheel of the lead rider. No reason for doing more effort after all that catching. So everybody sits up along the rail to reset themselves and catch their breath. Matty Hers, the rider in pink, sits at the front of this Madison's field now, waiting for the next move and having no reason to accelerate yet, as the bell is still more than a lap away. Everyone along the rail, 11 to go. Bell next lap for first place. Now, the win in this race is worth more than a single lap in the points race. One of those sprints at most can be 5 points, except for the last one, which will be worth 10. So the win in this race is still pretty valuable. These riders are still going to be trying to gun for it, especially if they can get the big 7. That's a nice bit towards their victory this weekend. And as we see riders sitting up momentarily, the yellow team has re-accelerated things as Nick Martinez wants to move things along. Bell's ringing. Matty Hers at the lead now. The Rocket's got his wheel. Down the back straight, Matty Hers waiting for somebody to come around him. He's still at about 70% speed, and now Richter has his turn. Matty's not even going to try. He saves his effort for another sprint. The Rocket goes ahead and sets this one ablaze for his team. Off and away he goes. Richter will make his exit. The rest of the race happening behind him. He just unchallenged there, really. His top speed been impressive this weekend. He puts on another good show for us with a very quick turn of speed on the back straight. Good for first in the win and out. 7 more points to the leading team. Next sprint will be for 5 points, and it's Matty Hers off the front, who's just been on a nice consistent pace. Not really trying to keep them away, though. This looks like a tempo that the riders could go catch if they're ready to do so. At 8 to go. Carl Hofer does make the move up to catch. So the white and black team finds themselves up in the lead group of 3 along with Martinez for yellow. That's a nice little gap they've got for themselves. When I mean little, I do mean little. Once the sprint is engaged, that will close down very quickly. So we'll see if these riders off the front are going to be able to find anything in the upcoming sprint. It's now for second place. Martinez still in the lead. Hers is in a good spot here, and I know he's at the speed to challenge for this one. Is he going to try to go now? He's waiting. Now he starts to accelerate. Carl Hofer's still on his wheel. Matty Hers just bringing up the speed gradually. He's just going to muscle himself out in front of this group and just cruise towards the finish. It looks like nobody else is ready to challenge him. So Matty Hers moving and cruising out in front. He will pick up second place for the pink team. Number 15 is Matty Hers is done for the race with second. That's going to be 5 points more for the pink squad. Up next is a sprint for third place and 3 points on the line. Everybody in the field riding along the rail now, giving some opportunity for the chasers to get back and up and close at 5 to go. Next sprint will be for third place. Bell ringing next lap. Nick Martinez and Vern Cole find their way to the front. The Stars and Stripes of Kenny Williams, the third rider in the lineup. Stars and Stripes is near the top of the overall Omnium. They've got to stay competitive here. Coming into this race, they had 20 points. Still trailing by 10 on the lead group, the dark green team, but we're still fighting over obviously the top 3 spots to be able to be on the podium at the end of this one for the overall Omnium. Bell's ringing at 4 to go. We got points next lap for the lead rider. And 3rd place overall in the win and out. Down the back straight, our light blue team starting to find their move as Robson's got some speed to show for it. Kenny Williams is trying to hold on to the wheel. He's engaged now in this sprint, and if you don't get to the front, you don't get nothing. He knows he's not going to get there in time. He'll save his efforts. Robson looking speedy. It's all his all day long. He'll make his exit for the light blue team. 10 Speed Hero finds 3 more points. Well, this is kind of, I could see how this would be fun if every race was a Madison race here and your partner could be in the beverage garden, heckling you. I like this. That might be the new methodology here. 2 to go. The end of the race, 4th and 5th place at the line. That'll be 2 points and 1 point for those riders and their team. On deck is the D group. In the warm-up circle should be the D group. We'll get you staged here very, very quickly. Your points race coming up. And our final bell, it's 1 to go. These 2 riders will be getting at least a point for their team. It's Kenny Williams and Carl Hofer sprinting for 2 and 1 for their team. They know the biggest race of the day is going to be the 6x5 points race, so you don't want to put all of your cards out here and lose all your energy on this race, but you still want to get as much as you can when the opportunity presents itself. It's going to be the white and black team leading things out as Kenny Williams will do what he can to come around their outside. And here comes Williams trying to find 2 in the sprint. He's on his way to do just that. All of our teams on the track still sprinting, and why not? Team Yellow and Team Orange going head to head. Nick Martinez there on the Team Yellow sprint. Nicely done. And the Madisons will be out one more time for their points race. Now we get to the D group. We got Madisons coming up for each of our groups, Madisons points races. Guess what, D group? You're now in a Madison. Find a partner, go. Points racing coming up for each of our groups. D group's up now, on deck, C group. All right, as a reminder, this is a points race to finalize your points. You start the race with what you came in, much like an Omnium, International Omnium style, except obviously the race format leading up to this moment, a little unique, a little different. Starting the race in the lead, Annette Williams with 35 points, number 102. 121, Pat Murray sitting in second with 19. Right on her heels is Kelly Darlene with 18, sitting in third. Alicia Stotts is in fourth with 16, and Lucy Gilchrist in fifth with 14, and a tie with Kat McGee also with 14. In seventh place, we have Heather Nielsen. She's got 13 points. Megan Henry in eighth place with 12, in a tie with Emily Alexander also with 12. Rue Tomko has 11. Leah Holslander has 7, and Lucy Clymer-Kennedy has 7. Current race leader, again, we're watching Annette Williams as our leader, number 102 with 35 points. That's quite a bit of points, and she's more than 15 points up on any other rider in the group. The ride for second place right now was also very interesting in this group, with Pat Murray, Kelly Darlene, and Alicia Stotts all being within 3 points of each other. Pat Murray is number 121. She's got the red and black with the white helmets in the back of the crew right now. She's currently in second. Kelly Darlene is number 101. Jerry Baker Jr.'s rider with 18 points, just barely off of her points totals with 18. And Alicia Stotts, 204 for the Fountain Cycling Guild. She's got the dark green on, and the light green helmet is also close with 16 points. I don't think I heard the whistle, so we're going around for a second time is what it looked like, although Alexander's trying to get an advantage here. Or did we miss the whistle? All right, I just missed it while I was listening. Apparently, I missed the whistle. We did get the start, so they are a lap down now and have already gotten onto the race. The first bell in this points race, since we've got a 4x3 format, this is going to be a lot like a win and out in terms of when the bells will be. So we're coming into the first bell already. 4 sprints every 3 laps. 5, 3, 2, and 1 to the leaders on these sprints, adding to their points totals. Emily Alexander at the lead, getting the bell at 10 to go. Our D group comprised of juniors and women together in this field, and it's been a good competition so far this weekend. Annette Williams has been walking away with a lot of victories. She likely will come to the front here again to find another 5 points, but the race for second may be perhaps the thing we really want to be watching. Annette Williams to the front for 5. Whoa, good sprint for 3. I think it was 2:18 Megan Henry. Then I think 1:11, the rider on the inside in red, I believe, got 2. Then Pat Murray for 1, unofficially. And is indeed in the order as called. Megan Henry finding the 3 points in that sprint. The rider in green, second across the line, 2:18. Nielsen for 2 more points, and Murray for 1 more. Bell's ringing again for more points. It's 7 to go. Off we go again. Our current race leader, having found 5 more in the last sprint, still clearly ahead. 3 points though to Megan Henry. She was previously down there in 5th, 6th place. She's working her way up. The race for second still very interesting in this group. Found cycling again off the front. Annette Williams coming in for 5 more. She'll find it. Alicia Stotts, 2:04, finds 3. Pat Murray, 1:21, I believe, found 2. Megan Henry may have found the 1 point in that sprint. With Stotts picking up 3 in that one, she's now, I believe, in a near tie or very close to being in second place. I think she'll end up in third in the current points totals, as Pat Murray will sit in second with 21. Alicia Stotts should be up there with 19 in third. Five to go, bell next lap. In the points race, the final sprint is worth double, so 10, 6, 4, and 2 on the final sprint. So even more valuable than these intermediate sprints will be the way this one ends. And it's very close still for second. Pat Murray with 20, not 21, my mistake, is in second. Kelly Darlene is in third with 18. Alicia Stotts now in fourth. My mistake, we're having a bit of issue on my readout here, so give me just a moment. All right, we'll make that call again. Annette Williams in the lead with 45. After that, it's Pat Murray with 22. Alicia Stotts with 19. Kelly Darlene with 18. Awfully close coming into this sprint. Emily Alexander on the lead of the sprint. Our current race leader coming into picture. Let's watch where it looks like one of our fun cycling riders. Again, the fight for second place. Kelly Darlene also needing to get up there, as is Pat Murray. They're both making their way and hustling towards the front. Ooh, Pat Murray coming up to the front, might be able to find 5 in this sprint. It's going to be Heather Nielsen for 5. It'll be Pat Murray for 3. Whoa, Kelly might have found the 2. That was awfully close between her and Megan Henry. The race for second place continues. No points for Annette Williams, but she doesn't need any. She's got more than 20 points on the field now. So she's feeling pretty good in this. Our new points totals. Pat Murray sitting pretty comfortably now in second place with 25 points. Alicia Stotts in third with Heather Nielsen in third with 21. Kelly Darlene in fourth with 20. Alicia Stotts in fifth with 19. So very close still, especially for third. But this last sprint is worth even more points than a normal sprint, and this could still be very interesting. So Pat Murray, though, sitting right now with a nice little cushion for second. This is for podium spots at the top of the big competition this weekend. It's the final lap of racing for the D group. 1 to go. 1 to go. 10 points to the leader on the lap. Ellie Alexander leading things out. 2:04. Alicia Stotts needs these points. She's making her way up. Also watch for 121 and where she finishes. Right now she's at the back of the group. The rider with the red and the white helmet trying to work her way up. Heather Nielsen has also really clawed her way into this competition. The rider in red with the blue shorts is working her way up to the front. She's trying to find 6. Kelly Darlene still wants second place in this race too. She's moving up. Here comes Annette Williams, your winner of the Omnium for this weekend, and she's going to pick up 10 more here. The sprint for 6 is going to be close. It'll be Nielsen for 6, Darlene for 4, and Stotts for 2. Nielsen finds, I believe, 6 points and enough for second place in the overall competition. Darlene with the 4 should move into 4th place. I believe Pat Murray unofficially holds on to second. Third, excuse me. So much going on here.
You grew old in suburbia, where pretty demons never show, shifting shapes in millenniums, but you're okay. I don't know the pieces of your home, buried in the flashbacks. All these wicked nightmares have gone cold.
I'm going to go and call C Group to the rail while we get set for the next race. We're just conversing about something from the last race. So C Group to the rail.
Standing by your side, you know I'll be right here when all the monsters come. I've got you.
In the last sprint, 2:04 impacting the outcome of the sprint with a relegation. 2:04 relegated out of the last sprint in that previous race. Once again, 2:04 Stotts relegation in the final sprint.
Force rider 202 completely off track to the inside.
Now we go way, way back, as far as way back goes. Still standing by your side. You know I'll be right here when all the monsters come.
On the track now, the C Group for their final race. This will conclude their Omnium competition. Coming into this, Sam Frigo has been on top of it basically from the first event and just carrying on into this one. He's got 42 points. The next closest rider is more than 20 behind him is Stan Douglas with 20 points in second. Joseph Deck, sitting in third, has 16. Brandon Confer now has 13 points, and Tyler Nolde has 12. Those are our top 5 coming into this ride. Once again, this turns out to kind of be a race for second for the most part. His first place is pretty comfy in this event. Even though it's a 4x4, there's 4 chances for points. Frigo only has to get a few more to guarantee that he's safe. Whistle sound and the race is underway. The next closest rider, rider number 420 for Flow Cycling, has 20, and we'll keep our eyes on him as the race for second will be following him around. Brendan Comfort coming into the front, another one of the riders pretty far up the list with 13 points. He currently sits in fourth, so he's going to be looking for his opportunity to bite away at the lead, get closer to where at least Stan Douglas is. Again, the ride is, I think, got to be in most of their minds is going to be going for second place. But with Sam Frigo showing the strength he's had today so far and yesterday, his lead is pretty big with 22 points between him and the next closest rider. They just saw 15 to go. This is a 4x4, so 4 sprints every 4 laps. The first bell will be at 13 to go. Each of the sprints, once again, 5, 3, 2, and 1 to the leaders. The final lap worth double, 10, 6, 4, and 2. These riders look like they're gearing up for a long race. They know they've had a long weekend, and this is their final opportunity. A little conservative early on. Jason Fuller finds himself at the lead of the lap with 14 to go. Bell, next lap. That was Merrick Gallagher testing the waters. He jumps out quickly when he realizes no one else wants to get in the deep end with him, so he'll pull up and get back into the middle of the field. Still sitting pretty wide across the track. Nobody's wanting to get up to speed yet. They're now starting to accelerate. As you can see, everybody's just gradually increasing that power until they get up to tempo. Coming on to the home straight, they're now accelerating in preparation for the sprint, but nobody's up to top speed yet. Points to the leaders. That's Ken Dong, number 302 at the lead. I have 302 as a DNS. He's in the race. He's going to get points here. 302. Ken Dong is going to be second or third. Sam Frigo finding the 5 here. Here comes Ken Dong trying to hold on. It will be Deck for 3, Dong for 2, and Gallagher for 1. The junior popping up for some points. Sam Frigo, our current race leader, says I should probably keep getting points here. So he'll take 5 more. And again, I think Joe Deck, the rider in blue with the white helmet, second across the line, found 3. He had 16 points coming into that. He's now 1 behind Stan Douglas for second. Tyler Arnoldi knows that after the sprint is the best time to put on an endurance attack, so he's now going to try to sweep up to the front and keep things fast when the sprinters want to catch their breath. Exactly the way you want to pressure things. If you've ever been on a group ride, you get up to the top of the big hill, that's when everybody wants to like slow down and catch their breath, get some water. Tyler says that's the perfect opportunity to go at your throat and try to finish this race. So he's going to do that now and see if he can get out in front and get some points here. Arnoldi sitting in 5th coming into the race with 12 points. Wants to find some here. 10 to go. Bell next lap. Brendan Confer in pursuit. He brings with him the second place rider, Stan Douglas, 420. And Joe Deck, the rider, now in 3rd with 19. It's still Arnoldi on the front who will be getting the bell first. Everybody else on track is behind him. Tyler Arnoldi's got the bell at a good lead here. A nice gap for him on the rest of the chasing field, so he's likely will be able to find the 5 points, although the field's certainly starting to accelerate. I don't think they're going to get there quite in time, although maybe this guy could. Sam Frico, he's got the gears for it. He's going to pop up and out, and off he goes. He looks like he's on his way to catch, so it'll be Frigo catching here near the line. Oh, geez. I think it might have been Frigo still. Arnoldi for 3, Deck for 2, and I think Stan might have gotten the 1. Number 420. Not sure. The officials match what I saw with my eyes. I never want to proclaim that I got good eyes up here. I'm not quite on the line and watching it as close as I need to. But my call will match. We'll get the points here soon. Our race leader, Sam Frigo, now sitting with 52 points after winning the previous 2 sprints. Picks up 10 points since he started. Stan Douglas got 1 more to tie with Joseph Deck, both with 21 points in second place. Arnoldi still gets some points for his effort. He has 15 now in 4th. Brendan Confer still with 13 in 5th. Everyone else pursuing the top spots in the podium. Our field coming together, but sitting pretty high on the track. Most riders electing to be above the blue line as a signal to everybody that they're moving a little slower than what they're capable of as they're trying to save the energy for the next sprint. They'll be hearing a bell next lap. That'll be the penultimate opportunity, as then after that will be the one to go and the double point sprint to conclude the competition for the Carnival for the C group. B group riders will want to be getting ready as we're just about there. On the warm-up circle would be appreciated. Down the back straight goes Nate Clark for Apex Racing Team. Making the move well ahead of the sprint, being fully engaged. He's trying to get out ahead of everybody. He's in his effort now at 5 to go. He'll be the leader on the back straight, but the field looks like they are trying to line themselves up to get up there and catch him. Nate Clark down the back straight, still in a good spot. He may very well be able to collect these 5 points. Brendan Confer leading the field. Sam Frigo still holding on to his effort now. He's still sitting in there, our race leader. Joe Deck making a nice move up along the side. Nate Clark with a great effort for Apex Racing finds 5 at 4 to go. Joe Deck, 3. Sam Frigo, 2. And Brendan Confer for 1. Nate Clark previously down in 7th place. With these 15 points, should move right up into the top 5. So a good move by the Apex Racer. He timed it early and well. He'll sit back in the field now to recover after what was a pretty big sprint for him. Last thing to see for this group, the 1 to go bell, 10, 6, 4, and 2 on the line to settle the race. Race leader Sam Frigo unchallenged this weekend really with 54 points and more than 30 over anybody else in the group. Number 455. So we're not really too interested in what he's going to do. Joseph Deck is now in 2nd with 24. That's rider 341. He's also got all blue on with the white helmet. Stan Douglas in 3rd with 21, trailing by 3 on Joseph Deck. That's rider 420 in the blue for Flow Cycling. He's also got the GoPro stuck on the helmet. On the back straight, our ride coming to a conclusion here shortly. The ride for 2nd, very interesting. You'll keep your eye on where Joe Deck, Stan Douglas, and Tyler Arnoldi are, as well as Nathan Clark now, all within the top 5. 1 to go. It's the final lap. Arnoldi on the lead of it. 341, there he is. 3rd wheel is trying to get 2nd place in this Omnium. Stan Douglas back there a few more wheels. Number 420, trying to hold on to the effort. There goes Sam Frigo to close down this race. He'll take the Big 10 just because why not? He's already won it, but he wants to get some more. Joe Deck is riding away from this field and is on his pace to now find 2nd place in the race. Stan Douglas, if he can stay where he's at, might be able to find 3rd today. It'll be Frigo, our winner out of the group. And, oh, Colin Stotts with a nice spin up there to pick up 4 points. Stan Douglas picking up 2 more, I think is enough to still give him 3rd in the Omnium. Arnoldi and Clark should also be able to hold on to their places 4th and 5th. A couple more finishers before we bring up the next group. All right. I think this might be our first group where the race for first is still good. It's still close, which is nice. So we'll be announcing points here shortly. This is the B group coming up. Madison riders, you'll be up next. Our final race of the carnival is on deck. Women's top 5 to the podium area, please. Women and juniors D group. Riders top 5 to the podium group. To the podium. Amara says, never mind. I see ya. Race underway. B group for their final race on the track. All right, let's take a look at the omniums here really quick for this group, as again, the race for first is very close. Chris Wilson with 26 is our leader. Carl Pratis in second is tied with Steven Wilson's also in second, both with 25. Only 1 point separating the first and second place riders, which are 3 riders so close as they come into this points race. Again, the race leader, 39, Chris Wilson, in the dark green with the white helmet. Carl Pratis for the Jerry Baker Jr.'s team, black and blue with the black helmet. He's middle of the pack down near the sprinters lane. Steven Wilson's the light blue with the neon socks, number 25. Those are our top 3. The laser's close. He's got 20. He's just 5 points off of the second place and 6 off the lead. Mike Darlene with 18. Austin Hildreth also with 18, tied in 5th, are also within striking distance. Everyone in this race has an opportunity to win it. This now a 4x5, making the race a little bit longer, but still the same number of sprints. 4 sprints separated by 5 laps means the first bell is coming up now. And the bell's ringing for our first point, now engaged. Steven Wilson's leading the lap currently as they come back onto the back straight. We'll be waiting for them to get up to speed. That's Wilson's leading the sprint still. He's moved his way up nicely today in this competition, not coming in at the top. He was 4th starting the day, but after winning the Kieran and having a good showing in the win and out, possibly picking up 5 more points now in this sprint, he's going to be well on pace to challenging for first. Wilson's for 5, Chris Wilson for 3. Kaiser for 2, and Carl Pratis for 1.
C podium. We're going to do top 5. Sam, Joseph, Stan, Nate, and Tyler. Come on over.
Warning to rider 320, Austin Hildreth, for entering the sprinter's lane while occupied. Warning to 320, Austin Hildreth. That's one official warning for number 320, Austin Hildreth, for entering the sprinter's lane while occupied. Bell coming in a couple more laps here in our 4x5. Bell will be ringing at 11 to go. After the most recent sprint, let's see where we're standing here. Bell's ringing now for our second sprint. Kit Colbert's put himself in a great position at the front of the field now. Not currently in the top 5, but this is an opportunity for him as he's going to be allowed to get away a little bit. Ryder's allowing this rider a ton of room now. This is an opportunity that he may be able to pick up on more than just these points. 5 for Kit now. We'll see what comes of it later. Colbert for 5. Good sprint coming from the field as Chris Wilson finds his way back to the front. He needs to try to beat Steven Wilson's for the stay in the lead. Carl on the outside for 3. Steven Wilson's on the inside, I think gets 1. Chris Wilson in between will split the difference. He'll find 2. Good sprint there out of the field. Kit Colbert is awfully close now after that speed. And Steven Wilson says, why not go up there and try to get that wheel? Had a little bit delay in the updates on my end here, and I will get those to you here shortly where our standings are. It's still Steven Wilson's, Chris Wilson, and Carl Pratis at the top of this competition. And after that last sprint, that shouldn't look much different, even as the 5 points goes in the direction of Colbert. Yeah, those are kind of cool. Could be kind of cool. At 8 to go, Kit's going to try it again. It worked for 5 once. Why not try it once again? Could pay off big. After the recent sprint, I have Chris Wilson in the lead with 31. Steven Wilson's in second with 30. Carl Pratis in third with 29. 2 points separate the top 3 riders. Next nearest is Henry Kaiser with 13. And Kit Colbert now has moved up into 5th with 19. So the rider for the Broadmark Realty Capital team playing it smart. He's been working his way up doing this. Can he do it again at 7 to go? Next lap will be a bell. Kit's just barely off the front of this field. Austin's starting to work to bring him in a little closer. The rider at the front of the field is now the rider in second overall with 30 points. He's just 1 point behind Chris Wilson, the rider just, where is he now? The second rider in that lineup. At the front for a moment there was Pratis, who swings up quickly. He's in third in the competition. 6 to go. Kit Colbert's been found. He's back in the field, and the bell's ringing for more points. Chris Wilson at the front, our current leader. Who wants to go get him? This is a nice opening for Kaiser, who may need to get up here. He has not found a point yet in the sprints during the race. Off he goes. This will be a big one for him, as he's currently in 4th, but he's not too far off of the lead. If he can do well in this sprint and the last, he may find himself back again on the top 3 spots. So he comes shuffling nicely onto the home straight. He'll pick up 5. Steven Wilson just wants to be in front of Chris Wilson. Can he do it? I don't think he was able to. Chris Wilson jumped up for 3. I think Steven Wilson gets 2. 1 point unofficially to Austin, rider 320. Our field sits up high above the blue line for the most part. This now the setup for their final sprint, worth 10, 6, 4, and 2. So let's take a look again at the most recent sprint where riders ended up. It's going to be awfully close still at the top. I think Steven Wilson's gave another point up to Chris Wilson. Henry Kaiser, moving up a lot closer into the top positions, will make this an awfully close race. In first, Chris Wilson with 34. 2 points behind him is Steven Wilson's with 32. 3 points behind him is Carl Pratis with 29, and just 1 point off of that is Henry Kaiser with 28. That's our top 4. After that, it drops off to 19 for Colbert, so it's awfully good in the top 4 right now. Any one of those riders could technically win the race. There's a situation in which Kaiser could get the 10 points, and if Chris Wilson gets none of those points in the final sprint, he could be the winner. So again, any one of the top 4 could still win the race. Chris Wilson at the front of it. Knows he needs to stay active and at least get something out of this. He stays along the rail, though, as he doesn't want to lead out this sprint. He knows the riders behind him are awfully quick if given the opportunity to follow his wheel. Kaiser, the rider that just got the big 5 in the last sprint, sitting right behind him. Peter Snoblin, early attack at 2 to go. Why not? Let's go get 10 points, he thinks. This could mix it up for the riders behind him if they let him go. He is not in the overall Omnium competition in the top 5, so they may let him ride for a while. Henry Kaiser says, I need the 10 if I want a chance to win, so I need to go chase. So he's on his way now. He brings with him the field now all coming up to speed. Snoblin, in his efforts, looking like he's just trying to hold on to a nice consistent output. Coming on the home straight, it'll be as the bells ring in our final lap of racing for the B group. Snowby on the front, 1 to go. Mike Darlene looking down, trying to hold on to his tempo as well. He's in very good pursuit here as he's moving the field on up. They're in the single file formation, moving towards Snoblin down the back straight. Our current race leader, Chris Wilson, now coming on the lead spot. He brings with him Kaiser, who's got his wheel. He's trying to find the big 10 and be in this top 3 conversation. Kaiser, can he pick up on the final 10 points? Whoa, it's getting up and down. Wilson trying to hold on. He's hurting, but it's going to be just enough for Wilson to get 10. Kaiser for 6. Hildreth finds the 4 points at Steven Wilson's for 2. Chris Wilson, unofficially your winner for the B group over the weekend of racing. And that was a good one as it came down to the final sprint. All right. We got one more for you. If you're online watching this, we've got some, we're going to have some live views from the light blue team during the Madisons. You're going to get Mike Robson and Andrew Martins in the race view brought into you for the live stream. So that'll be fun to watch. And we've got this fantastic close out to the Carnival, the 6x5 points race. This is a true Madison race. Our teams are coming out and we'll be working as a team on the track. One rider at a time will be active. The other will be the relief rider. 30-lap race, 6 sprints separated by 5 laps. This will settle the competition and be our last race of the Marymoor Carnival. currently on the track. Those are the riders that are going to start the race, so they're going to be getting the bell after their neutral lap. And now their teammates are going to go find a spot along the rail to be ready to be tossed in. So you're going to see these riders will be exchanged in through the holding of hands. It's a romantic race here, the Madison. That moment of exchange was pretty fun to watch. And if I had a team that I wanted you to watch for good, clear exchanges, well practiced, it's the orange team, the Dixie Flyer squad. Vern Cole and Eric Waterman yesterday put on a good clinic for consistent exchanges. Never missed one. So we'll see how that goes today. Off we go. 30 laps. They got the whistle, and it's showing 30 on the lap cards. Let's take a look at our Omnium standings as well as we come into the race. I already know who's at the top, but I'm going to make sure I read everybody out here so we know where we are. At the top is the dark green team, Found Cycling, with 37. They have an 11-point lead on the pink team with 26. That's Nolan Adams and Matty Hers. They're riding in number 15 for the pink team. Number 99 is the Stars and Stripes, is in third with 22 points. Andy Baker and Kenny Williams. In fourth, they are riding in the yellow, Andrew Carlberg and Nick Martinez with 19. The live cam views that you see right now on the live stream, Andrew Martin and Mike Robson are currently in fifth with 17. They're right in the middle of the race. After that, the white and black for Carl Hofer and Brett Walker. They're wearing number 10. They've got 14 points. Mike Ritter and Ryan Meinhardt in the dark blue for Noon, 13 points, currently in seventh. Bobby Walther and Matt Haldeman working together for 12 points right now in eighth. Eric Waterman and Vern Cole have 10, and Kelly Please and David Branson have 3. Yeah, if you're taking a look at the live stream, you'll see that there's the 4 cameras going. One on top, we've got the relief rider. On the bottom, you got the rider in the race. If we're lucky enough here, we'll soon be getting an exchange for that team. It looks like they're going to be doing an exchange somewhere here on the next lap. Riders coming on the home straight, a couple exchanges. The Stars and Stripes getting tossed in here. That's Kenny Williams being thrown in by his teammate Andy Baker. They're in the runnings for the top 3 right now, so they got to stay active as the light blue team now finds their way to the front position. Mike Robson leading the race now as he's got nothing but daylight in front of him. Bell's ringing for the first set of points in the race. And it'll be our leaders finding 5 in the first sprint. The light blue team finds 3, Stars and Stripes for 2, and the pink squad, previously in second place, finds only 1 in that sprint, but there's plenty more to go as there'll be 6 sprints in this Madison. And because the riders can share efforts, the speed will be very consistently high, and it's very usual for this race to get pretty broken apart as it's a long race with a lot of efforts, a lot of sprinting, a lot of activity. Dark green gets the 5 and is now can stay on the attack as Brando keeps things moving. He's kind of waiting now as he allows Stars and Stripes to find the wheels. Andy Baker will catch. Mike Robson gets tossed in for the light blue team and finds his way back up. So we've got our lead group of 4 and our chasing field of what looks to be 3 teams. So in fact, the field is at the front of the race. Everyone else behind is kind of straggling and catching on. Down the back straight, a couple good exchanges going on. A front group going under Stanley. That's dark green at the lead of the race. Stars and Stripes right behind him. Everybody else is in pursuit, trying to stay on the pace of those riders. What matters most is that the bell's ringing next lap for our second sprint. Yeah, if you're lucky and you're on the live stream, you'll catch some really good views of some exchanges. Our light blue team right in the middle of that front field. They've kept themselves nice and competitive. They did not come into this race in the top 3. They're right in the middle of the field. Points next lap as the bell's ringing. It's dark green on the front. Light blue in pursuit. Stars and stripes there as well. The next closest team is pink. It looks like they're going to skip the exchange as Nolan Adams will stay in on it. Dark green for 5. Stars and stripes 3. Light blue for 2. And pink gets another one. Points total is being updated here. The green team in the lead with 47, still healthily in front of the rest of the competition as they pick up another 5. Nolan Adams and Maddie Hers still hanging on by a thread to second place. They have 28 points, so they've only gotten 1 in the last 2 sprints. That's because Andy Baker and Kenny Williams are getting more than them. They're catching up. They're now in third with only 1 point separating them. The Stars and Stripes chipping away at the lead. Andrew Martin and Mike Robson, the live stream GoPro view, we got their team at 4th now. They've been moved up after they got some sprints behind them. They have 22 points. Andrew Karlberg and Nick Martinez are in 5th with 19, although currently they've been out of the points during the race. It's going to be tough for them to stay there. Bell's ringing, 16 to go. It's the front of the race right here. Another exchange for dark green. Light blue's got to stay in on this one. Trying to hold on to the quick pace as Richter gets tossed in for the dark green team. Stars and Stripes abandons the exchange. They're thinking about doing it. It's going to be Andy Baker in for another lap. Maddie Hers on pursuit. Down the back straight, it's now pink team on the lead of this thing. Everybody else is behind their team on the track. Most recent sprint getting updated and put in here. Looks like the pink team and the Stars and Stripe team are tied in second with 30 points apiece. In 4th place is now the light blue team, Andrew Martin and Mike Robson with 23. In the lead still, dark green. 13 to go. We got another bell and a couple laps. Nice exchange from the light blue team just a moment ago on the back straight as they'll come back into view in their acceleration coming up to the lead group. Bell next lap. The bottom row there on our live stream view is of Mike Robson in the race. In that lead group, right behind the Stars and Stripes of Andy Baker. And Nolan Adams have been coming in for Pink as an exchange happening right in front of them. Points next lap. On the lead of the sprint, Nolan Adams down the back straight. Andy Baker on his wheel. Stars and Stripes trying to work their way and ensure they can get second place in the competition today, as dark green going to be very hard to beat. Light blue is really shown up to race in this one too. They're coming fast as Andrew Martin looking fresh for the sprint. Andy Baker for 5, Andrew Martin for 3. Richter for the dark green gets 2, and Pink finds 1 more in the sprint as well. Two sprints remain. We got one more of the intermediates for 5, 3, 2, and 1, and then the big final for 10, 6, 4, and 2. The dark green team, again, pretty hard to beat them at this point as they stay up here and can, even if they're just getting a point or two, they're uncatchable with 9 to go. Stars and Stripes, pink team, light blue team, all making this very tight. An opportunity to see our light blue team make an exchange there on the back half of the track as they continue to keep themselves competitive in this front group. In second place now with 35 is the Stars and Stripes. 4 points behind them is the pink team, 31 points. After that, it's another 4 points back to 5 points back to the light blue team with 26. The race for second still interesting. Stars and Stripes has to stay on top of it, but they're looking pretty good as they're coming into what would be our second to last sprint coming up soon. Riders seeing 8 to go. Our leaders seeing 7. Dark green with the toss in for Richter. Puts him in position and ahead of the bell. We'll get that next lap. Bell's ringing. We got another sprint this lap. Down the back straight, Team Pink is taking the lead spot. They're still trying to chase down second place as well. They've been getting 1 point in a lot of these sprints. Maddie Hers, though, for Pink Team, is able to get out in front and maybe able to find 5 for the first time in several efforts. Very important here as we come down to the end of this race. Maddie Hers for 5 on the Pink Team. Kenny Williams trying to get 3. Whoa, 3 for Stars and Stripes unofficially. I got Andrew Martin right in the middle, might have gotten the 2, and dark green for 1. But this is where I think Brandon Russell wants to just make his effort known and says, you know what? That sprint was just me getting up to speed for a big attack. Stars and Stripes actually called for the 1 point in the sprint. So 99, Stars and Stripes gets 1 point in the sprint. My correction on the earlier call. We'll get the points in a moment. That puts Team Pink and Stars and Stripes in a tie for second. 36 points apiece, and the tie must be broken on that final sprint. The winners are riding away as Brandon Russell's going to go clean this thing up. He throws in Richter, who's now on his effort. So second place teams both have 36. Pink and Stars and Stripes in fourth with 29 is the light blue team. And they're still close enough that they're going to keep racing and hope that they can move up a place in the final sprint. Because some teams are being caught here, there's a potential that if the riders behind the green team also catch them, it would put those riders back into contention. But several teams are going down behind green. You are in no man's land, not eligible for points if you're caught by the green team. So right now it's the single malt velo team, the dark blue of Noon, and the orange of the Dixie Flyers are in no man's land, not eligible. The main field getting a little bit shattered here. It's the Stars and Stripes and the light blue are pursuing the leaders. With the field on the back straight, Andy Baker, the lead rider of that group. And here's the bell for the final sprint. Our winning team coming across the line. No question there. Our winner from the Marymoor Carnival weekend for the Madisons, the dark green team for Found Cycling, will clean this up. The sprint for second is on behind them. Andy Baker in the Stars and Stripes will be the next rider across the line in contention for points this lap. You can see him and Andrew Martin going down onto the back straight. Will be going for points against each other, although Baker is not too concerned about the light blue team. Over here, it looks like dark green will be finishing up, and they will be taking the victory. They'll grab hands quickly. And a nice toss over the line. That was a little wild, but a win nonetheless. Light blue squad picks up 6. Andy Baker for the Stars and Stripes picks up 4 points, and I think the next team contending for points would be, where are they at? Is it pink? Might have missed it. Everybody coming across the line is finishing up on the lap, so our riders will make their exit on the back straight.
B group, I need Chris Wilson, Henry Kaiser, Steven Wilsons, Carl Pratis, and Austin Hildreth. For your podium, everybody else go to the beer garden.
You heard her, folks. If you're on the stream, go to the beer garden, get in your car, and drive on down here. That'll do it for us here at the Marymoor Carnival. We had a good weekend of racing. That was a totally unique format. We've never done something like that before. And our thanks to Racecom and especially Andrew Carlberg for being the brains behind this operation. It's been really fun to put this together. Learned a lot, had a great time doing it. So appreciate especially the athletes coming out. Thanks for, if you're here on the outside checking us out, thanks for coming into the velodrome and seeing what we're doing. We're just wrapping up. Love to invite you back to one of our main race nights. If this is a curiosity for you, you've never seen us before, we're here every Friday at 7 o'clock racing. Friday nights, as long as it's not raining during the summer months, we're here. We will be racing again next Friday at 7 if you want to come see that. You can also check us out online, our YouTube channel, JB Velodrome. You can find us by searching for Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome on YouTube. Also on Facebook. Our Twitter and Instagram is JB Velodrome. Follow us there and you can get more updates and lots of posts of pictures and all the fun updates about racing at the track. And of course, the home of everything for the Velodrome, velodrome.org online, where you can get more about our race calendar, clinics, classes, all the educational efforts we have to get riders and athletes out here. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of this great event. It's been a pleasure being with you. And until I see you again for more racing here, look forward to hosting you again for more racing at the Jerry Baker Memorial Velodrome.